Hello there, Croeso and welcome. I'm Shadow Lumax and I'm back on Gran Turismo 7 to continue my adventures and my attempts to become not an awful racing driver, but an okay racing driver. And we're in the Nations Cup. This is the second test season, but the first race. And it is in this one you had a choice between three cars, three small hatchbacks. It was a Renault Clio, Peugeot 208 and a Citroen DS3. I went with the Clio because I already had it, and as has been well documented, money is tight in this game, so went with the car I already had. There was a weight and a horsepower limit, but you could still do little bits of tuning to help yourself. This is the qualifying. I managed to get myself up to second, but as you can see, the person in first is 1.7 seconds in front. So already I know it's just gonna be a fight between me and the rest of the pack. Unless the person on pole position makes some colossal error, they're just gonna drive out into the lead, and it's going to be really difficult to stay with them. So I've already got my expectations in check. It's a standing start, and I make a half decent start, but I don't gain any positions, but I still managed to hold second. Got someone making a move up the inside, and I managed to hold second into the first corner. And what I want to do is I want to try and stick with first as much as I can. I know they're much faster than me, so I'll get a good idea of how I can get faster. But straight away I'm pushing too hard, run out wide on that first corner. I've now got third and fourth right behind me. First is nicely pulling away. Again, going too wide into this corner, pushing too hard, braking too late. It's always a recipe for disaster. Or it's not a recipe for success, that's for certain. So first is, after one lap, is already pretty much long gone. I then make another mistake into the first corner, giving these positions up to second and third, and about to lose another one here. Got a little moment on the outside, I've lost speed all the way down the straight, and they now make a nice move up the inside as I leave just a little bit of gap. They force their way through nice and clean. So after a promising start in qualifying, I'm now down to fifth, determined not to lose any more places, but you can see there's a decent gap between us lot here, from second down to fifth and then back to sixth. So I start making my way now back up the pack. The Spaniard in fifth had a little bit of a moment out the last corner, so has left me clean there, and now I'm just chasing down second and third. But the German is about to have a moment here as they try to correct themselves, send the Frenchman off onto the scenic route, and I get to drive up the middle, nice and clean. And I am not going to let this opportunity slip. So it's now a matter of getting my head down, setting some clean laps, some fast laps, hopefully in the 56-second mark, which is roughly where I'm at the moment. The best times are, I think they're even into the 53 seconds. And they said I'm racing, the leader here is doing a 54-second laps. They've already set the fastest lap of 55 seconds. 55.6, it's 1.2 seconds faster than my fastest lap. So there's no chance of getting the win here, unless, as I said, they make some colossal error. should just be second, and I'm pulling away nicely here from third and fourth. Just having my own little race. And while it's not the most exciting way to have an Asia Cup race, I will take it. It's a solid position for me, and I don't like being, when you get into a battle with someone, it's very easy that it can go wrong for both of you, and you can both lose a load of positions. So being out here on my own is definitely preferable. And as we see, it's pretty much normal race. Had a little moment there on lap 7 that allows second to catch up massively. What was a 3-second gap over third place, we've now caught up to within 2 seconds. But I correct myself, get myself set for the next corner, and then by the time we get to the final lap, as you can see, the leader is long gone. Managed to pull off a 12-second lead in an identical car over 10 laps, but I've managed to pull away from third. I finished second and get a clean race bonus as well, which was very nice. But it was the only one I was able to get into due to real life stuff. I was only able to enter the 8 o'clock race, so I put myself in for some go-karts, and as you can see, my exploits have moved me up into a driver rating of a BS, which matches the level of advice I am offering. So I'm starting last here, even though I have set a qualifying lap. Shows how bad I am amongst this new group of racers. So not using traction control for this, just use it for the start, and then it's more just a case of being really smooth with these go-karts. It's very easy to spin out, have a moment. This is the only braking zone on the track, so it's very important to get it right, which I do not. But I'm still sort of on the tail of the pack. I'm in real danger of losing the slipstream here, which would just be a disaster. But I keep going, and I do start to reel the back of the pack in anyway. The first leading group have split off, and they're having their own little private battle up front. Really now it's just a case of not finishing last, if I can. Have another moment here into this final corner, but not as bad as some of the others, and I've managed to build up some of the managed to reel in some of my opponents as they had moments coming out through that final chicane, which is very easy to do. I've now managed to get onto the back of a few of the stragglers here, get into their slipstream, so I can at least have a race with some people. And that is exactly what I do. We're coming now into, as I said, the one and only braking zone on this track. Just really light on the brakes, drop down a few gears. You don't want to steer too hard into that corner, you'll lose a lot of time. Getting very lucky there as someone else has another moment, and here comes someone else. So that's 2 positions I've gained for free, and someone has left the room in a rage quit moment. So I'm at least not going to finish last, and that is important to remember. So now come through this left-right section, making as little steering adjustments as I can to get through. The person just in front has a moment, a much bigger moment than me, and I'm able to gain another position, so I'm now up into the heavy position of 8th. Someone else going really wide off the final corner, and I get myself up into 7th. The heavy height of 7. Considering I started last, and I qualified last on pace alone as well. I knew this was a win for me. I'm racing against people that are on average faster and better than me, so I will take this. So I up and move here for 6th position, brake a bit too much, take a little trip over the grass, but it doesn't cost me too much. I'm still on the back of 6th place, and we can still see that the rest of the pack is just ahead of us. A few mistakes from them, and me and the Portuguese right back in the mix of things. So I'm not going too hard with the overtakes. Don't want to disrupt too much, although I do miss the chance to cut back onto the inside there. Give the Portuguese a nice bump out of the corner to give them some respite from me. And we're coming up now, this is lap 6. Coming near to the end of the race. Portuguese runs wide. I get a good drive out of that last corner. Excellent drive. And cleaning across that little chicane, and I have made my way up into 6th. This is going fantastically as far as I'm concerned. So now the aim is just to hold the inside, stop the Portuguese from cutting it the inside as I drift out wide, which is exactly what happens. I now filter back in behind the Portuguese, and I had just a little moment there on the corner, try and save it, but it was not meant to be. So I managed to ruin that race all on my own, but I haven't fallen right to the back yet, as others have had their moments. Now in 8th. As we come through the final corner, I decide that was just too easy. So I go with the Michael Schumacher pro strategy of finishing in the pit lane, but it just doesn't pay out for me as well as it did for Michael back in the day, and I finish in 11th. Nice condescending slow clap there from my pit crew as I gain 1 position. Again, nice fist bump there of triumph. So I go back into practice, managed to improve my qualifying a bit and get myself up into 7th. So also to note that this lobby isn't quite as good as the one I was just in, so that's why I'm not as far back as I was that time, although I do make every effort from the start to put myself right to the back of the grid, but I managed to at least filter back into 10th. And this is already a better start than the previous race. I'm in the pack now, and the aim is try not to lose it as I did the last time. Get around that corner nicely, as a few people lose it. Again, chaos here on the chicane. Someone go really slow. I run into the back of them and lose a load of speed. Fortunately, this Dutch guy, Dutch person, overtakes me. Gives me the slipstream then as this Finnish driver comes through as well. So I know I've got slipstream. There's a few of us here, just on the edge of the leading pack. I'm careful here, don't want to make the same mistake as I did in the last race. So I'm just showing it at the inside. Not going to make a move, but again, much better exit. And as we come through here, I decide to ruin all 3 of our races as I try to take the inside too much there, send the Dutch driver off, the Finnish driver spinning behind me, and then I decide to do a 360 as well, just to finish off the move. And drop back to 9th, and this early in the race, you basically there's no chance now. I'm just hoping to pick up pieces from anyone else that spins out, and that's exactly what I do. Driving my way back up to 7th, but I was able to set a 42-second lap, so definitely improving, and I'll definitely take that. And come home, as I said, finish in 7th, which is exactly where I started from. So I get another condescending slow clap and a clean race, which I think is a pity clean race. Well, those are my adventures in Gran Turismo 7. Just want to say diolch and thank you for watching.